There is a major celestial event happening on Saturday. It's going to be visible in some form for much of the country, but really visible for a narrow swath. I'm talking all about it. Hello friends, Meteorologist Sven Sundgaard here. I am in Phoenix, Arizona, because we're on our way to Utah, southern Utah, to see the annular solar eclipse. I have never seen one, that or a total solar eclipse, but it's going to be a really cool event. It's going to be visible for a huge swath of the southwestern US and partially visible for much of the country here on Saturday. So the path of totality will start in the west coast of Oregon, travel through Nevada, Utah, and then across New Mexico and Texas. So it's going to be visible in that very narrow swath, at least in the totality, or annular, I should say. And it will continue across Central America into northern South America and across the Amazon in South America, which will be pretty cool. But there will be partial visibility of this annular eclipse for a large part of the country and a large part of South America and into the Caribbean too. So what's the difference? A total solar eclipse is when the sun is completely blocked out by the moon. An annular solar eclipse, or ring of fire, is when the sun is still visible along the edges because the moon is a little farther away. In a total solar eclipse, the moon is actually closer to Earth, and that's able to block the sun out completely. So this is what it will look like if you are in the path of totality. You'll start to see a sliver of the sun disappear gradually as the moon moves over it. And when we get to the maximum, there will be that ring of fire or ring of light around the moon, still visible with the sun, and then it will start to move out of the picture once again. So we're talking about 5 minutes for the maximum part of this. As it moves across those areas, it will see the maximum of the eclipse. Places like, let's say Minneapolis, for example, where it'll be partial, will look something like this, where 46% of the sun will be covered. Now, unfortunately, a place specifically like Minneapolis is going to be probably cloudy on Saturday. So of course, weather is another thing that has to cooperate here. A couple of things to look for. Cumulus clouds, which grow vertically due to instability, due to the heating of the ground from the sun, can flatten during these eclipses because solar energy decreases enough where that process literally stops. Another cool thing is called Bailey's beads. You can actually see the topography of the moon because the sun isn't completely blocked, but enough light gets in through the cracks or the topography, the valleys and mountains of the moon, where you can actually see it. Now, of course, do not look at the eclipse with the naked eye. It can burn your retina. You need eclipse glasses or create an eclipse viewer. So here's the timing. Mid-morning along the west coast, it'll move through places like Utah by about 10:30 in the morning, and then reaching the southeast coast of Texas just before noon, before it continues across the Yucatan. As far as cloud cover, again, that's something that has to cooperate. As you could guess, the Pacific Northwest, probably mostly cloudy. Even parts of Nevada, though. But as you head into southern Utah and northwestern New Mexico, it is looking clear there. Also for parts of Texas. So those areas that are in the path of the full annular eclipse will be able to see clear skies there. But again, in the partial area, which is much of the central and southeast U.S., you're going to have a lot of clouds. Big storm system across the Midwest is going to block that out, unfortunately. But a really cool event to follow here on Saturday, and a total solar eclipse comes for the US in the spring.